Hey guys, my name is Marjorie Villalon and I will be discussing the impact of climate change on the global economy. And what is the first thing that you guys think of when you hear economy and climate change? I think of financial, businesses, government, anything that has to do with money. Now, here we have a picture of money and plants, which again represents this perfectly. Now, our economy needs a transformation within a few years because of how quickly global warming has increased. We are slowly running out of time. In order to do that, the government must invest in research to improve methods that will help lower the temperature of the earth. There has to be new forms of fuel replacement, cities that have less usage of cars, and we have to help restore ecosystems. And if we think of economy and less usage of cars, the first state that comes to mind is New York, because a lot of people do not use cars because of how overpopulated and how small it is. And a great example of a very busy city is LA, because if you've been there, you know how crowded it gets and how traffic is throughout the day. This next slide is government deciding whether it wants to help change the economy and help save the earth. Now here we have a picture that says, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. Now in order for this change to happen, the government has to restrict economic activities that will benefit the earth and not destroy it. Last time this happened was during World War II. The government plays a huge role in improving society during this climate change, and a great example of World War II was Uncle Sam. And here we have a picture that says Unidad, which is in Spanish, for those of you that don't know. And it's a fist, and it shows people coming together to fight for what they want. And in this case, it, of course, would be climate change. And for those of you that don't know what mobilization is or never heard of it, well, it's an emergency restructuring of a modern industrial economy accomplished at rapid speed. So basically, it's like the entire nation enters emergency mode. Now, our daily life. Did you know that 1/3 of the world's major lakes and rivers are drying up, which affects water supply for 3 billion people? Can you imagine how scarce and how panic mode that these people must have gone because of these droughts? Now here we have a picture that shows common groceries affected by the drought. As you can see, bread in 2011 was $1.81, and in 2013 it went up to $1.96. Now it may not seem like a lot has changed, but slowly the rates have increased, and it will keep increasing if our climate change keeps increasing as well. And again, like I said, it may not seem like a lot, but for those who can barely afford $1.81, $1.96 might be too much, and it might leave them to not have any dinner. Now, this climate change, of course, not only threatens our foods, but our homes as well. Like I mentioned, grocery prices have been very high. They mostly increased during 2007 to 2014, and they have kept increasing ever since. The way that this climate change has been going, it could lead to a shortage of wheat and corn. And if we think about it, so many businesses contain wheat and corn. The picture on the right shows a home that has been destroyed after a natural disaster. And this picture just looks so sad. This poor woman and her daughter are just looking at their home being just destroyed completely. See, the problem with the economy right now is that majority of the people who lose their homes don't have insurance, so they don't get anything in return if they lose their home. Insurance is just way too expensive, so people can't afford it, which leads them to not having anything in return after all this has happened. Just like in Texas, like in Hurricane Harvey, for example, a lot of people ended up in shelters and were there for a very long period of time because they didn't have anywhere to go and all their stuff and belongings were just gone. And many people did have insurance and were able to get some kind of money to pick themselves back up. And unfortunately, those people have been like that for a while. And lastly, we have stock. Now here we have a sign of California, and California is a great example of what climate change has been doing to our economy. For those people who do live in California, many of us know that a lot of people have been moving out of California because they cannot afford living here. Too many tech companies and big industries have been taking over and have been taking over jobs, and a lot of people, have said that's enough. I can't live here anymore. I have to go somewhere where I can support my family and support myself. So this climate change will affect stock levels, unfortunately. It will most likely reduce capital stock and productivity in the economy. As we know, higher temperature may affect food security and could spread infectious disease and impair those working outdoors. Agricultural yields are sensitive to weather condition as climate change becomes extreme. It may reduce crop yields in areas where the production of food is vital. Higher global food prices will squeeze consumers' income in the process, and an inflation rise may materialize through reduced land availability. Sorry about that. It could cause areas of the world to become inhabitable, becoming mass migration. Like I said, California. And many of us don't know what that might lead to. And if we continue, our world's population will be forced to live in an increasingly concentrated space, which will lead to a lot of increasing of everything. There was just so much information about the impact of our economy with climate change that I couldn't fit it all in here in 10 minutes. But these are the biggest and most important factors of climate change right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.